Cal.com is going closed source. I never thought I'd ever be saying these words, but so much has changed in the world of security, software, and open source that it makes it pretty much impossible for us to continue as an open source company. Cal.com from the start was always designed to be a commercial open source company. We obviously have a profitable business while still making all of the source code free and open source and available for everyone. And that worked great. We're firm believers in open source and we really love the whole world of open source software. And we're very fortunate that we're able to have a commercial venture capital funded business that also supports the open source side. Now, unfortunately, a lot of things have changed pretty recently in the world regarding AI. As I'm sure you've noticed, things like AI coding agents have started to become actually useful. They've been around for a little while, but a lot has changed that make them actually competent enough that nowadays a lot of serious companies are able to use AI coding agents in their workflows. The part that nobody is really talking about right now is there's a lot of AI cybersecurity tools, which basically can go ahead and scan code bases or take a look at API responses, and they find vulnerabilities in applications. And as I'm sure you can imagine, open source drastically changes the risk perspective because it's kind of like giving the bank robbers the blueprint to the vault. If you can tell what code is going to generate what output, it becomes a lot easier to kind of reverse engineer everything and exploit it a little bit more. And that poses a very, very large problem for us. One of the leading AI security vulnerability companies actually said that open source software is 5 to 10 times easier to hack than closed source software. And that poses a significant threat to us. We obviously have to take care of all of our customers' data. We're a scheduling company. The kind of data that we process is incredibly sensitive. We have access to people's calendars and their booking information. And although at the surface level, booking information may not seem like the most critical of data compared to, banks and things like that, there is a tremendous amount of value in, patient bookings for healthcare. There is actual deal flow that moves markets that goes through Cal.com, and protecting the security and integrity of that data is absolutely critical for us. And so with the current situation as it is, we would almost be negligent to continue to be open source and expose our customers to this level of risk. The things that I'm telling you are very much cutting edge. AI security vulnerability scanners, they are something which is currently being built and iterated at a pace that, we've almost never seen before. I'm sure you see tons of AI news about how every week AI gets smarter and smarter. The same thing is happening with AI hackers. And the simple reality is, it has become incredibly easy to attack any open source company by literally just using an AI security scanner. And you can scan through all of the code, all of the backend that processes the data and exposes it via APIs. And you can use AI to very quickly pick up on where are there vulnerabilities in this. And the problem is that makes the cost to hack come down significantly. I mean, before, the whole world operated on this kind of security through obscurity thing, which is it's so hard to hack software that you need a really experienced hacker to do it, which means that, exploits aren't going to happen too often. I mean, of course, you've heard about companies getting exploited, but it requires a hacker of a very advanced level to really care about your application and dedicate thousands of hours to exploit it. Now you can just kind of point an AI agent, especially an open source code base, and say, go attack this. And chances are it's going to find stuff. If you're in the developer world, you have probably heard about like vulnerabilities that have been found recently in things like React and Firefox. These are obviously huge open source projects, and AI vulnerability scanners are now coming in and are able to attack this stuff like we've never seen before. And so what has remained pretty quiet history of vulnerabilities in these projects has now quickly ramped up, and now there's a million different vulnerabilities that the world is scrambling to fix. And so there comes our problem. How can we remain open source while still protecting our customers' data? And the problem is we have pulled our hair out trying to figure out the answer to that question. And the very simple answer to that question for us is there isn't a good way to do that. Currently, the way it looks for us is we expose ourselves to so much risk in being open source. And although going closed source doesn't make us impossible to hack, it reduces that risk by up to 10 times. And so for us, it became a very simple decision that we had to simply close source our application. And we've also made major changes to how things like authentication and billing and the handling of calendar credentials work to make sure that we are diverged from the open source code in Cal.com, because we simply need to make our customers' data secure. We have always had quite a strong focus on security, privacy, and compliance. It's probably one of the most core things that make Cal.com what it is. And we are ultimately presented with a situation where we have pretty much no choice than to close source because we just cannot risk our customers' data. That being said, we are open sourcing all of the existing Cal.com open source code base. We're calling it Cal.diy, and it's going to be the open source spin-off of Cal.com. All of the code at this point of time is going into there. That being said, I did just mention we are going to rewrite some of the core components for our production application so as to make sure that by open sourcing a replica right now, our customers aren't still at risk. And so we are basically giving out Cal.diy to the world, still trying to hold true to all those like open source commitments and morals that we had when we started this company. This isn't a decision we take lightly. The call where we first discussed going closed source and the sobering realization that we may need to go open source was actually one of the most emotional and difficult calls that I've had in 5 years of running this company. If things change in the future and there become better ways to defend against this stuff, then we will absolutely revisit this and try to become open source once again. But the simple reality is for now, with all of these, there are AI vulnerability scanners. They pop up out of nowhere. Every single week, I get some kind of cold email or DM from a different company that's building one of these open source vulnerability scanners, and they're all finding different things. And that's the problem. Without one clear source of truth, it's never too obvious whether you're secure or not. There's no single unit test for is your application secure or not. And so it currently puts us in a very uncertain perspective. I'll say it again, we absolutely hated having to make the decision to go closed source. It is pretty much against everything that we started the company with, and whether you know or care about Cal.com being open source, it's something which is very important to us and our team. And the fact that we're pretty much forced to closed source the application is a very, very sad moment for us. But we have to put our customers' data first. And I can't be the guy that sits here and says that we should continue to be open source and expose all of our users and all of our bookings to the risk of getting hacked.